So those are two examples of things we add. What we would subtract is for any service charges, because banks don't bill us until the end of the period for any services they provide. So we would subtract a service charge. We would subtract any EFTs that we made that weren't recorded on our books. So in this example, we've got an EFT for the payment of a water bill. So the service charge and the water bill are being subtracted from the book side of the bank reconciliation. What else might we have? Let's go up to the top here. We've got the bank collections, the EFT transactions, the service charges, the interest revenue. Here's an important one, NSF checks. Okay, NSF checks are non-sufficient fund checks. These are checks from our customers that have bounced. Okay, so we have to account for NSF checks. What do we do for NSF checks? We would subtract them from down here. Let me see if I could write this. NSF. Okay, I fail with the Etch a Sketch. NSF checks are subtracted. Why? Because we recorded them as an addition on our books, but because the checks bounced, we have to reduce our books by the amount of the NSF check. What else could we have? We could have the cost of printing checks. That's similar to a service charge. Okay, that's similar to a service charge. SERV. Okay, forget it. It's not working. Cost of printing checks would be similar to a service charge. Book errors, just like we could have bank errors, we would either add them or subtract them depending upon which way the error goes. And we'll talk more about that later. So we've got the bank side in the previous slide, and we have the book side in this side. And what you're going to have is your bank side on the left, as you can see, and your book side on the right. And we want to make sure that the total bank side right here is equal to the total book side. That's performing a bank reconciliation. You're trying to get the bank side to equal what the book has after receiving the bank statement. Okay? So the bank side needs to match up with the book side in order to reconcile. So on the bank side, you're going to start off with your bank balance, and you're going to add deposits in transit, subtract outstanding checks, add or subtract for the correction of bank errors. We're going to add or subtract the correction of bank errors. On the book balance side, we're going to start off with the book balance, and we're going to add collections, interest revenue, and EFT receipts. Add the bank collections, the interest revenue, and the EFT receipts. We're going to subtract service charges, non-sufficient fund checks, and EFT payments. And then we have to account for the addition or subtraction for the correction of book errors. Okay? Add or subtract for the correction of book errors. So if we're looking at this exercise classifying the bank reconciliation items, they want us to tell them where the following items could appear on a bank reconciliation. Let's change that to would appear. Okay? So outstanding checks would appear on the bank side as a subtraction from the bank balance. A deposit in transit of $1,500 would appear as an addition, a subtraction excuse me, that's incorrect. It should appear as an addition to the bank balance. Okay? Remember, we take the bank balance, we add deposits in transit, and we subtract the outstanding checks. So this should really represent an addition to the bank balance. An NSF check should be a subtraction from the book balance. That's a subtraction from the book balance. The check bounced, we need to reduce our book balance. The bank collection of a note receivable of $800 and interest of $80, these should be in addition to the book side or the book balance. We're receiving $800, we're receiving interest of $80. Okay? Service charges, that would be a reduction of the book balance. Okay, service charges would be a reduction of the book balance. It looks like I skipped letter E. Interest earned on a bank balance would be an addition to the book balance. And the service charge would be a subtraction from the book balance. Letter G, book error. We credited cash for $200. The correct amount was $2,000. So what we need to do is subtract from the book balance side. Instead of crediting cash for $2,000, we only credited cash in the records for $200. So we have to reduce our cash balance by the difference of $1,800. Letter E, the bank error. Letter H. The bank decreased our account by $350 for a check written by another customer. What happened? Some other customer with some other account wrote a check, and unfortunately, the bank mistakenly took the $350 from our account. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract that from the bank balance. Okay? So there's a quick little exercise in identifying where items belong in the bank reconciliation.